Hello, my name is Alex Bannister, and I'm here to show off the game that we've created called Block Escape. Block Escape was originally supposed to be a base building defense game where the player would be able to defend a growing base from waves of enemies, but was quickly changed to an action adventure game, which is where it spent most of its time in development. During this part of development, the player was supposed to hunt enemies in the game as a bounty hunter and get money for each kill. There were many enemies scattered around the level for this purpose. But the game recently had a scope change to a puzzle adventure game due to its action adventure version not meshing well with the main mechanic of the game. The push pull mechanic was too slow and clunky for the action adventure version of our game needed to be fun. So we greatly reduced the amount of enemies in the level and put more focus on the main mechanic, which are the blocks and puzzles. The blocks can be grabbed and thrown at targets and enemies. They are also able to be put into traps and have bottles used on them, which are found throughout the arena, and can change their properties for a variety of uses, like platforming with glue blocks, blowing up objects and enemies with bomb blocks, or increasing damage dealt to enemies and destructible objects with fire blocks. These blocks also have values which are represented by the color of them. These different values are used to solve one of the puzzles in the game. Puzzles are another important part of block escape. Solving these allows the player to gather keys which are essential to the player's escape. There are simple puzzles where the player places certain types and amounts of blocks in a container or destroys all targets to open a door. Then there are more complex puzzles that will require the player to think and problem solve. These include a puzzle where players have to put blocks on a scale so that their values add up to match the required value on the scale. There are also puzzles where the player has to guide lasers by hitting mirrors and laser blocks so that the laser hits the correct endpoint. The last puzzle the player will experience are sequence puzzles. The player will have to do tasks to find out what the required sequence is so that they can progress forward. But this project has been without struggles. Throughout the game's development, as a team, we've had communication issues and personnel availability issues, which has caused our game not to hit its full potential. In the beginning, we started off with 4 people on our team, and in that first week, we lost 2 teammates. This caused us to have to develop our decision-making skills to fit the workload scope for 2 people, and choose a mechanic that is still fun to play and easy to build upon. We also had issues with availability throughout the months, which resulted in some potential features not seeing the light of day and visuals not changing much. Despite all the setbacks, we still managed to create a game that has increased in interesting mechanics and is satisfying to complete. Capstone has taught us a lot about managing our time and responsibilities, while also pushing us into development territories that we didn't expect to be in at the very beginning. We are grateful for this opportunity to show off our game design skills.